Yeah, mate, yeah, just on my way back now. Yeah, I just had to drop off some Yag tears. Yeah, Aussie Yak want to make a Yag Yaga or something stupid.
Jarune, za tebe mi dijete diše, tu je važno samo jedno, nogomet i ništa više. Jarune.
Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Jarun on The Impossible Dream. It is Season 12, Episode 7. Today it is Jarun. No, it's not where you run. It's Girona in the Champions League. Well, it'll be a massive game to win if we can do it. And then it's the final game before the winter break, Hajduk Split. And hopefully we're going to get ourselves 2 wins. Now we start in the medical centre, which is never good news. And that is because, to go with Steven Sinar's long-term injury, Gavia, who was going to go in and fill up front for us, he's strained his hamstring. He's out 3 to 5 weeks. Now, the only good news about this is that most of that time is going to be through the winter break. It's just basically today's games that he's going to miss. But he could have played very big roles in trying to get a result against Girona and Hajduk Split, I'm sure. So, bit of a loss, that one for us. Now, there is one game to catch you up on since last episode. That was in the league against Lokomotiv. Now, they are struggling massively. I think they're bottom of the league with 3 points or something. So let's go see if we can make sure they didn't get any extra points against us. We went in front early when Kovacic crossed for Gavia. And it was 2-0 when Kovacic played in Kranjak. Before Poso drove in a third before half-time. Kovacic crossed for Kranjak to make it 4-0. Before Kranjak completed his hat-trick in style. And Siraj played in Madzar to make it 6-0. So obviously a very good win for us. This is where Gavia picked up his injury. And I've got to say, Kranjak off the bench, I mean, really looking good. That third goal was absolutely stunning, wasn't it? So if we have a quick look at him here, he's been highly rated for a little while. He's 20 now, and I'll be honest, I was giving up on him. That's why he's listed for loan. But he's just doing enough this season. He has 6 goals already, 3 in the league, 3 in the cup. Obviously, those 3 were in the ones that we just saw, the ones in the league. I'm just wondering if maybe there's a squad role for him. There's still a little bit of room for him to improve. Physically, he's quite decent. I just don't know if he's decent enough for us, I suppose. But let's see what that result did to the league table. And it put us top 2 points now ahead of Osijek. Dinamo is quite a ways back, and Hajduk, who we face in the second game today, last one before the winter break, is up there in 4th as well. Quick look at the league leaders coming into the winter break. Still no one up there with us for the Golden Boot, but Gonzalez and Montel for average match ratings, Gonzalez for assists, and Lacko for Man of the Match awards, to go with Pinter up there for clean sheets. So it's starting to maybe the cream come to the top in terms of our players there. And now a quick reminder of the Champions League coming into this group game as well. And we are very nicely placed in 5th. Now, Girona we're playing now, they are not that far behind us on 10 points. So if we win, and we are away from home, but if we can win this one, we then face Bayer Leverkusen at home. Now, there we can see up there on 10 points as well. And then it's Juventus, who are equal with us on 12 points. So we've got a very tough run in. But do we say we beat Girona at home? We beat Leverkusen. We beat Girona away, beat Leverkusen at home. Top 8 is not completely inconceivable, but we really do have to win, at least take a point today, because I think 15 points is going to be the absolute minimum to get you into the top 8. You probably even need more than that. So let's have a look at Girona. It's a 4-3-3 that we're expecting out of them. And this is our team that we're sending out. Pinter in goal, Sanchez, Crespi and Jakabusic. Von Groningen down the right, Gonzalez down the left, Alvarez, Montel and Vazgard in midfield, with Mazzoleni and Lacko, the 2 going up front. Obviously, Sina and Gavia are very big missers in this team. It means we're a little bit thin on the bench as well for attacking options. So, yeah, let's hope we can get the job done with the starting 11. Alright, so the starting lineups, do we recognise any names in there? Carlos Borges is a familiar name. I'm not 100% sure where I recognise that from. Maybe it's just one of those names that is fairly common. There's another Borges on the bench, so maybe that is what we've got there. A calming influence on the bench as well, which is good to see. Hero week. Alright, so let's put on a show out there. I think I prefer where the underdogs, let's go out and cause a few surprises. It's probably a little bit better team talk to me. But let's see if we can cause surprises. And yeah, look at that. We've got the away section there. All the Croatian flags are up. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of these. I think it's 16 points would be the minimum, I think, for top 8. I probably should have looked a little bit closer as to exactly what has got you there in previous seasons. But I think we need at least 4 points as a minimum, as I say, to get into the top 8, which would be a massive achievement for us. Let's not pretend that wouldn't be. The one thing we could guarantee with a win here, if we haven't already, is being top half and seeded. But we've seen in previous years, we've had that and still drawn. I think we got Manchester United, didn't we? So it doesn't really guarantee you anything. You still need that luck in the draw, don't you, as to who it is that comes out as your opponent. But let's see what we can do. They are sitting 9th in La Liga right now. I did check that. So they're obviously a good team, you know, like the Liga sides historically are pretty good, but it's not like they're dominant in the league. So let's hope that yeah, I mean, the thing is too, they could be focusing on the Champions League. They're not doing badly in Europe, are they? So here we go. Von Groningen with a throw. Can we get a cross into the box? Von Groningen. It's a good one. It's taken a deflection, I think, but Vasgaard has opened the scoring, and we have a 15th minute lead in Spain. Huge. Absolutely huge. No one picked up Von Groningen, and no one picked up Vasgaard either. First time, it did take a little deflection off of Vieira, didn't it? Whether the goalkeeper would have had a chance of stopping it without that, possibly yes. But that's not our problem, as Alvarez gets caught in possession now. That's not what we needed. Can Jaka Busic stop a cross coming in? Ah, Jaka Busic. Just let the cross come in, mate. Well, they're going to the screen. Sometimes this is, sometimes this isn't. It did, I mean, it looks soft, but he was behind him as well, wasn't it? I suspect it's going to be given. It is given. And we need Pinta to come up with a third magical save in the Champions League this season, and that is pushing the odds, isn't it? Come on, man. No. And it's 1-1. Thank you, Jaka Busic. Continuing to let me down this year. He's already won a horse's ass, I think, hasn't he? He's looking good for a second one. Pinta, yeah, just went, maybe gave himself up a bit early there as well. Jaka Busic running in with his arms out like, what are you doing? He's trying to stop the penalty you gave away, dude. Alright, so we're back to where we started. Let's see if we can go in front again, as Crespi does well. Alvarez. Oh, don't do this to me. Jaka Busic! Oh. We don't have that many options on the bench, to be honest. Mazzoleni does enough. And is that going to end the highlight? It is. I mean, Skolabar he's good, isn't he? He's not terrible. I've hesitated on making subs like this before, and then they go and do something else stupid, which just, Van Groningen does really, really well. Can he play in somebody now? He's been tackled away, but Vasgaard has it. Alvarez, look wide. Von Groningen's in space again. Oh, and it's a good pass. It sucked the defender in. Von Groningen, he's in the penalty area. Pick out a teammate. Pick out a teammate, he does, and it's Gonzalez. It's his first of the season. It might be his first for the club. It is his first for the club. And we're back in front on half an hour. That pass, but was that a Jaka Busic pass? It was brilliant, wasn't it? It sucked Forbes in and got Von Groningen clear. And I thought he was going to have a shot, but he didn't. He picked out Gonzalez, who did the rest. Oh, and he's looking at home in Europe now, Gonzalez, isn't he? He was struggling. Let's be honest. When we started this campaign, he was struggling in Europe, but he's looking better and better with every game. And he's a quality left back as well. So yeah, let's hope he's going to keep going from strength to strength. Can we see? We're top of the Champions League right now. Stop the fight. Stop the fight. All right. Is it going to be 2-1 at half-time? It is. Okay. I mean, the fact that Gonzalez is playing a 6.8 and he scored maybe doesn't bode too well. All right. Do we just keep saying, relax, play with freedom? I think. Let's not put any extra pressure on us now that we're in front. And do we want to make any changes? Jaka Busic is back to a 6-7. I think we leave it. Other than their penalty, there hasn't been a great deal else. I'm just wondering if we want to trap them inside, given that they have wing backs and a wing up. But again, it's not been too bad, has it? The old, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Gonzalez has now picked up an injury, a pulled groin, so he's going to have to come off. That will be Kovacic, I guess, coming on, who is not fully fit after the game against Lokomotiva, but that's okay. We should get 40 minutes out of him or whatever it is that we need. Lacko not having a great game either. And we've got a corner, Montel to take towards the back post. It's headed away, but only as far as Vasgard, and he pokes home another one. His 6th of the season, and it's 3-1 now. This is something else. Away from home in Spain, Girona on paper, and they're not the strongest Spanish team. Now, how good is this strike? Oh, it's really, really good, isn't it? It's a really good finish into the ground as well, so it bounces up. Keeper can't get anywhere near it. And this is potentially a huge result for us. We've scored from our only 3 shots on target, so that's going to be rip the hair out stuff for their manager. But that's not our problem. Do we need to make any subs? Montel's not having a classic game. Okay, now, hang on. Let's have a look at Montel. What's his work rate like? He's okay. The only option really would be looking at Zinco or Perso, perhaps. Zinco would be the option, wouldn't he? But he's not quite as good at passing, and he's not as good at tackling. So I think maybe we just leave it. Lacko's not having a good game. Let's get Madzar on for him. We know that Madzar, on his day, can take a chance. And if they're pushing on, looking to try and get back into it, he just may have that chance. I think now they've got 2 wingers. We probably do want to trap them inside. There we go. And we've got to highlight the boot. Jakabusic. Nice one there for Montel. Montel for Kovacic. Taking his man on the outside. Back inside for Alvarez. Alvarez to Jakabusic. Montel's in a little bit of space. He's let that get closed down. It's okay. Crespi's free. This is good. Alvarez. Alvarez, great ball for Madzar. Just didn't have that first touch, did he? And what we don't need is getting back to 3-2 with 5 minutes to play, because that's when we all start getting nervous. And we have thrown away some of these sorts of games before, and it's just over the top. Let's say Pinta had that one covered, shall we? And now Kovacic is injured as well. So Kovacic could come on. He's kind of left-footed. And we're not having much luck at left back, are we? Hopefully those injuries aren't too serious. But again, winter break is coming up. So if we're going to get these sorts of niggles, now is the time. We just need to make sure we have enough players to get through the... another decent pass. Montel turned nicely, but then lost possession anyway. We're in the 2nd minute of 5 for stoppage time. And Pinta makes a big save. Let's just maybe go back to positive. Let's tell him to focus. And let's not make this a nervous finish for us. Corner to defend. Near post. It's away by Vasgard, I think it was. Another corner. That's okay. It's winding the clock down. And I think we're going to do this. It's another really, really good result for us in Europe. Not as good as, I'd say, the AC Milan result or even the Villarreal result. We've been out XG'd in the end there as well, but that's not... they had a penalty, though, so that ruins things, doesn't it? All right, that's everybody backtracking, boys. Huge win. Huge. So, excuse me while I just get a Kleenex. I have a nosebleed. And, well, we are every chance of getting into the top 6. And if we can beat Bayer Leverkusen at home, which is a big ask in of itself, but if we can do that, 18 points, we're going to be in the top 8. We're going to be in the Champions League round of 16. And we have guaranteed ourselves into the next round as well. So, huge. Absolutely huge result for us, that one. Gonzalez, 6 to 8 days. Again, could be worse. Bruised knee. So Kovacic might even be back for the game against Hajduk, which would be a big bonus. Vasgard absolutely stepped up for us there, didn't we? He is a very, very good young player. Still only 19, a wonder kid. We've got him for at least another guaranteed 4 seasons before his contract runs out. And, well, he's going to be a star of the game, isn't he? All right, that's that. Champions League done before the winter break. We'll be back to round out the first half of the season against Hajduk. Okay, welcome back. Now we've got a little preview as how I think the winter break is going to go. Boca Jr. is making a bid for Mazzoleni. He doesn't want to go there. We obviously don't want to sell him, but this is going to be, and I'll talk about my what I'm planning coming into the window. But this is going to be the theme. I think is a lot of interest in our players, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's that. The kids also, they lost to AC Milan. They're down there in 17th now. Now I don't know exactly how many teams progress. They're going to need a strong finish though to to get themselves into the knockout rounds there, I think. But a quick note for Horvat here. Young, promising centre-back. I think I've given him his first team debut off the bench, but yeah, another centre-back coming through the system that could potentially be very, very good for us, which is obviously great to see. But Hajduk Split, let's see what we can do here. A 4-2-3-1 is what we're expecting out of them. And this is the team we're sending out. Now we've got a heavy match load for Kovacic. I kind of need you to play. All right, let's give Robus a game and hope that the match sharpness issue isn't too serious. So it's going to be Pinto in goal, Sanchez, so you can play... Oops. You can play as a ball player. You are not Tankovic. So Sanchez, Crespi, and Jaka Busic. It's more or less the same team. Von Groningen and Rovis, Montel Vasgard. Siraj comes in to play the number 10 role with Mazzoleni and Lacko in front of him. Okay, so team sheets. This guy's good. Prelak, or however you would say that. I don't recognize any other nightmares there necessarily. So, what do we say to this? Carry on last match. All right, I can get on board with that. I'm trying to trust my assistants a little bit more with team talks as well. And we've got Turu Florence, who I think in real life is at Villarreal, or he was at some point. I always try and get assistants that are good at motivating, so that I can trust their advice on team talks. That's just something I always try and do. And if I can get tactical knowledge as well, then I'll get that. So. Because what I'll usually do is assign opposition instructions to the assistant, partly because I would forget to do it otherwise, partly because I don't really want to have to do it. But yeah, it's just something to help me enjoy the game that I like to play it the way I like to play it. But yeah. I'm trying to trust him a little bit more, and to be fair, he has done a pretty good job as our assistant. We've had him for a few seasons now. Now, as for the transfer window, now I know there was some comments, like we have 100 million in the bank. Can we not afford players that would come in and improve us? And the short answer is, kind of. The problem that we get is that, so a player to come in now that would make us instantly better, we could obviously, we've got 80 million transfer budget. Obviously, we can afford the transfer fee. Where the problem lies is the wages. A lot of these players... they're already at bigger clubs, and they're willing to either go with Von Groningen, cross in. Oh, it's a good finish from Mazzoleni. And I'm fairly confident he's behind the ball, isn't he? And we're going to be 1-0 up here, which would be a very, very nice thing indeed. And there it is. So yeah, so obviously we can afford the transfer fee. They're willing to join us because they're not playing or transfer listed at, one of the bigger clubs. The problem that we have is that they're on big wages. Now, I haven't checked since the summer what is the maximum wage. We were at like 75, 80 grand a week that we could offer. And these players are wanting over 100 grand a week, which Lacko was off, but Mazzoleni was. I had to stop and look at the double take there for a second. So yeah, we can't afford their wages basically. Now, what I could try and do as part of the transfer bid is ask for them to pay a certain amount of their wages, and maybe that's something that we could look to do. But a big part too of I wasn't sure what to do with signing wingers and whatnot. And see, now I'm going back the other way in that, well, maybe we're not having the wide centre backs this year in Europe. We do look better defensively, so maybe we don't need to go back to wingers. And I'm really trying. I think too, part of the thing is I'm really trying not to do it, because for most of the impossible dreams, that is a Stonewall penalty. For most of the impossible dreams, that's the way I've played. Excuse me. So just to keep things fresh, for me and for you guys watching, I am trying to do it a different way. So Lacko to make it 2-0. He could use the goal in truth, and he's got it as well. Very nicely done. So yeah, I'd like to try and stay like this if I can, and play with this formation through. But we'll see. But let me know what you guys think. My impression is that this season with not playing the wide centre-backs in Europe, we look a lot better defensively. I think that's showing in our results as well, in truth. The only one that we were a little bit dodgy was the Villarreal game. But that being said, I do think we could probably do with a centre-back. Now, of course, we sold Butchman and Monsalvo this last summer, and I didn't replace them because I thought Jaka Busic would be able to step up and play, as a first-team defender. He's still got a lot of potential. He's still young. I'm not giving up on him. But I am wondering a little bit if he's not quite ready yet and he just needs to be in the league team playing week in, week out that way. So I'm wondering if maybe we go and get a centre-back. I don't want to say issue with that, but if we sign another young centre-back, knowing that we have Jaka Busic, who in theory is going to become a first-team player, it might become a little bit of a wasted signing. So part of me is thinking, well, do we go and loan somebody? But then, I mean, loaning a player sometimes is like paying rent on a house, isn't it? There's Siraj. If he's onside, and it looks like he is, gives us a third early in the second half. And it's nice to see Siraj scoring goals again, because he's almost become the forgotten man of the squad. Partly because Gavia is sort of first choice in that position. And we're not playing a number 10 in Europe, which means Gavia is typically playing in the league. But Siraj he has dropped away a little bit. He's only 2.5 star potential now. Now, part of that is going to be down to the fact that we have some very good players at the club. He's being rated relative to them. But I think a part of it is just, he's maybe, I don't know if his development has sort of halted a little bit because he's been playing a bit less or what's going on. But yeah, he's certainly not quite developing how we might have hoped. Now, I think at 3-0 we can probably start to rest some players here. Not that they necessarily need a rest, but I'd like to give Haska some game time because he's just coming back from injury. And I'd like to give Perso some game time as well. Now, I made this exact change against Slaven with a 5-0 lead, and it got back to 5-4. So let's hope that doesn't happen again. And let's take Jaka Busic off as well for Taninski or Tankovic. I don't like that Tankovic is complacent, but let's go for Taninski. Rovers is struggling a little bit, but he could use the game time, and we saw that Kovacic isn't really fit. And Lacko is also tied, so maybe our final sub will be getting Madzar on for him. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe a centre-back. Part of it is going to be, and it's another reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to sign players, is that I don't know who we're gonna lose. If someone's going to kick off and the whole dressing room is going against me saying that we should sell them, which is happening more and more in this version of the game, I must say, then does someone become more of a problem than they're worth, and then so I sell them, and then we need to replace them. But I think the 80 million, let's be honest, it's a nice little bit of wiggle room, isn't it? And if we do sell a very good player, then we're going to have their transfer fee to reinvest as well. So I'm expecting it to be a tricky January, as they always are for us when we're sort of a smaller team and the big teams are sniffing around. So it looks like we are going to be top at the break, which is good. Yeah, but hopefully we'll be able to hang on to our best players. And then maybe add a centre-back. Are we a striker short, or do we keep... I feel like we've got to keep giving Madzar and Krenjak as well, who's starting to look like he can score goals in the league. Maybe we need to give them a bit more chance. Let's not forget we've got Zabo, of course, out on loan at West Ham, who we could always recall as well. But that will do it for today. Quick update of the finances coming into the winter break and the transfer window. As you can see, we've made 65 million this season. We're absolutely flying. We've got money to burn, and hopefully... hopefully it's going to be a good January window for us. So we'll be back next time. We will round out the Champions League. It will be Bayer Leverkusen at home and then Juventus away. We've got a really big game in the league against Aussie as well, but we'll see. Maybe if there's not much riding on the Juventus game, maybe we'll just do the first 2 games straight back, and Juventus. If we're already in the top 8, then there's not really much riding on that, is there really? So maybe we will just show that one off camera. But anyway, that's all for that. We'll be back. The transfer window for us will be not quite opened yet, or just opened. But European teams will have had 23 days to try and pick our squad apart. Let's hope I can fend them off. Take care.